Hello Sumo fans, and welcome back to another video with me, the Sumo Scot himself, Scott Finlay. How are we all doing? I know it's been a while since I've done one of these, but trust me, I haven't gone anywhere. I've just been deep in the trenches, helping to grow the sport here in Scotland and across Britain. But what a surprise to me, I come back onto YouTube and I find people making sumo AI videos and everybody and their uncle are making sumo videos now. What happened? There just used to be but a handful of us. Anyway, 1 minute I'm wrestling myself and now I find myself as the president of British Sumo and Scottish Sumo, as well as the head of the national team. So things have got busy, but in the best possible way. In today's video, we'll cover a few highlights of the Royal Albert Hall event. Ichiyamamoto visiting me with British wrestlers to train. So since we officially took over and earned the European and International Federation recognition at British Sumo, over for the previous organisation, which sadly ran things into the ground, the growth under us at British Sumo has been absolutely incredible. We've now got active clubs across Scotland, England, Wales and Ireland. We've had an athlete go pro in Japan. We've secured separate national recognition in all 4 nations under the EFS. Events like the Scottish Open have become some of the biggest independently run sumo tournaments in the world, smashing every team size and competition record we've ever had, and that's before we even get to the massive Royal Albert Hall event that has brought so much attention to sumo, which is exactly what this video is all about. If you want to keep up with everything I'm doing and British Sumo or Scottish Sumo's doing and get all the latest, make sure to check out BritishSumo.com. Follow at British Sumo, at Sumo Scotland, at Sumo Nahiran and at Sumo England on social media for all updates, training clips and behind the scenes. Now, before we dive in, I do want to add one more thing. The British Championships is now heading to Ireland for the first time in history. It's been expanded and rebranded as the British Isles Championship, raising the bar once again. You'll be able to watch that live right here on my channel on January 31st, 2026. More details soon, do not miss it. Right, the Royal Albert Hall Grand Sumo Tournament. So, from October 15th to 19th, 2025, the world's top Rikishi came to London for the Grand Sumo Tournament at the Royal Albert Hall. For the first time, professional sumo had come to the UK in 34 years. Huge deal. The Albert Hall is one of the most prestigious venues on earth. The Beatles, Pavarotti, Miss World tournaments, world leaders, and now the top sumo wrestlers on earth walking out onto the clay, built right in the centre of that iconic arena for the second time. I was there on day 2, and members of my team were there across the whole run, and honestly it was breathtaking. The energy, precision and pageantry, it was Grand Sumo brought to a foreign stage. The crowd, packed every day, sold out. Families, Japanese people coming in from overseas, people coming from all over the world, first time viewers, hardcore fans, all united by this wee so-called niche sport. Every time the Yobidashi announced a matchup, the crowd roared. You could feel the respect in the air. And in the end, Yokozuna Hoshoru took the tournament with a perfect 5-0 record, an incredible showcase of the Mongolian Grand Champion, the 74th Yokozuna. Now the debate. Was it real or fake? Here is where it got interesting. The moment the tournament ended and even during, the internet exploded. Media and social platforms were buzzing. Reddit threads, Twitter posts, comment sections. Everybody was debating. Was it real? Was it just for show? Were the matches fixed? And listen, I get the curiosity. It did feel different from a normal 15-day Honbasho in Tokyo or Osaka, but it's important to understand what this event actually was. It wasn't a regular competition, and it wasn't pretending to be one either. So, reasons it could be called a show: it wasn't on the official calendar, it's not one of the 6 tournaments, no promotions, demotions, a Grand Sumo Tour, a Jungyo, part of the Japan Sumo Association's exhibition circuit, this time foreign, this time it was UK, next year it's France. In regards to risk management for one of these things as well, guys, these are elite athletes and they have packed schedules with those 6 intense basho a year that determine their careers, their livelihood, their families' futures. You could tell some were being careful and smart. I wouldn't say fake. In regards to audience adaptation, this event was built for education and spectacle, clearly structured to teach newcomers about sumo. And it had controlled matchups, some matches might have been arranged for balance or entertainment. That's how a jungyo in Japan works too. Just in case anybody didn't realise that. It was definitely still real sumo in regards to the bouts were genuine, every grip, push and throw was real. Physics doesn't lie when 250 kilo rikishi collide on the clay and are dancing about like that to tell a story, to showcase their sport and keep it in such control. It obviously still went by the rules, still had the normal officials, your gyoji, your yobidashi, your shimpan, it had the clay doyo, you know what I mean, it had all the rituals, the salt throwing, everything. It was explained well as well, you know what I mean, that's what they were doing, they were using the time to explain it and exhibit the sport. Pride matters, even exhibitions demand dignity, especially for the Yokozuna, before people start having any wee jibes because they gave him the nod to win it. And it was a cultural mission, Japan was showcasing its national sport with respect and tradition, not a performance act, it was a showcase. And honestly, seeing the wrestlers out and about in London was brilliant. These massive lads full of energy and personality, strolling through the streets like it was normal, stopping for photos, chatting with locals, promoting the sport, all in the most genuine down-to-earth way. Tourists and commuters did double takes. Wait, was that a big sumo wrestler on the tube there? And aye, it was, posing outside Greg's, walking by Big Ben, popping into black cabs, a crazy sight, but pure magic. The event opened massive doors, not only for audiences for the sport of Grand Sumo, but for here in Britain. We did major media appearances, BBC, Channel 4, newspaper interviews, radio, online outlets, and for the first time in decades, sumo was headline news in Britain. Segments introduced people to British sumo clubs, featuring interviews with wrestlers, and explored the history of the sport. People were talking about sumo everywhere, from podcasts to mainstream morning shows. For us, building grassroots clubs, training athletes and developing national teams, it's been huge. Interest is spiking, new members are joining and young athletes want to train for international competitions. On top of that, we had the honour of welcoming Ichiyamamoto to London Sumo Club. Members from clubs across the country came to train under him, snapping photos and soaking up advice, nearly impossible to get elsewhere. For me personally, the biggest reward was validation. Coaching a class alongside Ichiyamamoto, seeing that my advice aligned with his, working together to refine techniques, having him confirm I was on the right path was an incredible feeling, guys, I can't even tell you. Early days, yes, but it seems sumo in Britain is gaining strength and growing consistently, and it's amazing. Clubs are expanding, athletes are developing, and the sport is reaching new heights. And of course we gifted the crap out of him with all the sentimental stuff, traditional Scottish gifts from England, all the good stuff, bottles of this and that. He loved it, he was over the moon. So back to the Royal Albert Hall. The truth, was the Royal Albert Hall basho real? Yes, real sumo, real skill, real pride. No, not competitive in the Honbasho sense. It was a showcase, not a sham. A celebration of sumo's spirit, brought to a global audience with the respect and tradition it deserves. To fans who were there, you saw something truly special. To those watching online, step back and appreciate what it represented, please. Sumo isn't just about rankings, it's about respect, culture and connection. And that's exactly what this event achieved. As someone working every day to grow the sport, seeing that doyo in the Royal Albert Hall was monumental. It showed that sumo belongs on the world stage, and that British Sumo is part of that movement. So what do you think of that? We had a right good week, you know, interacting with them. Ollie's had tickets to go, we spent time as a team, we trained with them. It was an amazing thing. We're all over the moon, and we've certainly capitalised on this, and it's good to see that sumo's getting out there for everybody. And so I want to say to the older sumo fans, you know, the long-term fans, you guys could spot what this was straight away, but surely you seen it for the bigger picture it was. And surely it shouldn't be attacked, it should be defended for what it was, to truly show the sport and get more eyes on it, because that's what it deserves. You know what I mean? It's not that stereotype of just big overweight men and what seems to be their underwear and funny haircuts want to bash off each other. It's so much more. It's so much deeper than that. So, what do you think? Was the Royal Albert Hall basho real, fake, or a mix of both? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, guys. I really want to know your take on it. And guys, it's been a while. Let me clear my throat here, but here we go. Ahem, ahem. And sumo fans, do me a favour and do yourself a turn. When you like, subscribe, hit that bell. Oh, what a nugget!